So let's look at these different situations I'm going to show you guys of why I got attraction, and I'll try and point these back to the attraction tactics. All right, so I'm going to walk up to this girl, and she is absolutely just going to ignore me. But instead of quitting or giving up, or instead of getting angry, I just keep like kind of like plowing through as though, oh, she didn't hear me, or as though it's totally fine, as though I expect a response eventually, and you'll see I'm going to get a response eventually. And once I do, it's actually quite a good one. This is happening. Hey. Hey. Hello. Hello there. Hi. Is that French? French?
Yeah, we are French.
Todd.
What?
Todd. It's my name.
Okay.
Pleasure to meet you. And you are?
This is perfect. My
Pleasure to meet you.
all words, like,
I want to have a little American crush on you.
what?
I want to have an American crush on you.
Yes?
Yes. How do you feel about that?
Yes,
Yes, yes? This is your friend?
yeah.
All four? Just two?
Yeah.
Two?
Yeah.
Cool. Look at that, I'm so smart. Fair enough. Well, in that case, we'll have a drink. I will help you with your English, and it will be fun.
Where?
Where? Well, if right now we go down here, there's a bar up here we go to. If not, then I get your number and we do later this weekend.
Okay.
Yeah?
Reservation?
Okay. You do now or later?
Reservation?
Or both?
Later, because now I'm already with friends.
Oh, yeah?
Later, I'm here for 2 years.
Oh, yeah?
Maybe we can.
Sounds like a plan. We will be...
You are in New York for how many times?
I travel a lot. So I travel and work. I'm here about half the month and then travel about half the month.
Okay.
So when I'm in town.
So I can take your number?
If you'd like, or I can take yours, either or.
Can you take my cigarette?
I can take your cigarette and your number. Immediately, like, how many of you would have quit on that set after like the first or second time, right? But I just continue going, and why? It's the implied social proof of various channels. The fact that I keep talking without caring, the fact that, you know, I'm not reactive, the fact that my tone of voice doesn't drop, the fact that I imply that, you know, she should give me a positive reaction. All right. So basically, because of the implied social proof, she eventually responds, and when she did respond, it was actually quite positive. Yeah, in the back.
How long was that set?
The whole set was probably about double what I showed, because I just cut through like the boring parts. But it wasn't a super long set.
Less than 3 minutes?
Maybe 5, something like that. Maybe 5 in total. Yeah. Yeah.
When you're like expecting this reaction, what point did you say, all right, like this is too much, this is too try hard, let's move on?
At the point where I've never been in that situation and turned it around before. Does that make sense? Or if you're just starting out, at the point where you can't imagine it turning around. If you can imagine a possibility or a way that it might work, keep trying. And then as soon as you're just like, no, this is just fucking never gonna happen, then quit. Or at the point where it's like the resistance is actually very adamant. If she's like, no, seriously, fuck off, then leave. Seriously, she's like, I'm gonna get the bouncer, leave. You know what I mean? You're not under like an obligation to be a social fucking like terrorist, all right? Like, please don't do that. Yeah.
Could that also be in the game?
I got him first and then.
In general, like, how do you push through language barriers like that one?
Like some level of persistence and enunciation. Secondly, speaking slowly and simplifying your language and being sweeter. Right? I won't use sarcasm in a language barrier situation, for example. Yeah.
So one of the things that really impressed me in the new way is what you're doing is presenting a simple frame with no shame about a sexual intent or whatever it is, but the whole ambiguity, and now she knows what she's agreeing to. And I really was like, and that's why I could feel her saying, oh, this is all what it is, okay, I'm getting nothing else going on.
Yeah. Well, I mean, as a man, you should act like a man, right? And men, your nature as a man is to want sex. Now, your nature as a high-value man is to want sex from high-value girls. There's just some selectivity to it and some decision to it, right? But yeah, it's natural if you have a penis for you to want to like use that penis, right? It's there for a reason. Yeah.
I'm telling her what to do and maybe in trouble for that. Why should I do this with you? But it really doesn't work.
Right. As far as like feeling like you're manipulative or you're imposing or something, you have to understand you're offering value, right? So if your frame was I'm presenting you a check for a large sum of money, you'd understand you're offering value and you just give it to her. But a lot of you guys, when you're offering yourself as a partner in a relationship, right, which in theory, if you guys are willing to, you know, be the right kind of guys and do the right things, is worth way more than that check, you're presenting that and yet you're like bashful about it, right? You should think of it as you're offering value. If she doesn't recognize the value, fine, her loss. But you are offering value, right? If your fundamental frame is that I'm manipulating or doing something to her, then that is going to come through and that's going to make it harder. That's going to make it harder for you to convey the right frames. It's going to make it harder for you to get success. So this one is an example of escalating well. No. This is like a halo over you right now that I'm drawing in the air.
Is it?
Except I think that's lying to myself and the world, but that's okay. I'm trying.
I'm not lying.
Okay, so right there, I offered her an escalation. She took it, right? But it's very subtle. Like it's very subtle, very non-slutty, whatever, right? As she's gonna take it, I'm gonna subtly, gradually pull her in and see how she responds. Hi, red hair, who are you? Okay, she responded well. So now I turn this shoulder a little bit right here and indicate a hug, but I'm not actually hugging her. But she's hugging me, so I'll go for it. My name is Todd, you're adorable.
My name is
your name? So in, I don't know how long the walk-up was, but what's that, like 3 seconds, 5 seconds of the actual set? We're already hugging, right? Why is she attracted? What have I done really? Not that much. Yeah, I had a good tone of voice. Yeah, I was a little bit, you know, in my own frame, in my own world, etc. But what really worked was that the escalation was smooth and felt good. And if the escalation is smooth and felt good, that means I'm a high value guy, girls like me, implied social proof, yada, yada, yada. The other thing here, I'm gonna overstep a little bit, I'm gonna raise a red flag, but I'm gonna know when to drop off on the physicality and get it back when she gets a little reactive, which is again another good sign of attraction, another trigger for her. Sorry, you cannot touch my long phallic object. That doesn't happen.
I wouldn't even
that doesn't happen until with people I know. I don't know you well enough for that yet.
I wouldn't even try.
Okay, good. I appreciate that. I feel much more safe around you now. I was a little unconfident and shy.
I can make you feel comfortable.
Can you really?
I can.
That sounded very intimate.
I didn't try.
No, I don't even mean it that way. I don't even mean it that way. But what? Sorry. You're very cute. I see you. I let her go, and then I'm willing to drop it, and then I'm confident it'll come back. Again, conveying that I know how to escalate. Also conveying a lot of like abundance and like confidence in myself.
So what is your story right now? How did you get so cute, and what are you doing in my world?
How did I get so cute? I don't know.
You don't know? It's the red hair.
It might be the red hair.
Yeah, and the freckles and stuff. It's the gingerness. We're gonna repopulate the world of gingers. I'm not quite a ginger.
Wait, why do you say we?
I'm a half a ginger.
You're not a ginger.
I'm half a ginger. Look at my beard. I have a ginger beard. I'm half ginger. I'm ginger from like the ears down.
What's your name?
And I'm ginger in other places too, but you don't want to see that because we don't know each other that well. I'm not as ginger as you though.
We don't know each other well.
You seem cute though. I like you.
I am. I'm very cute.
Okay, you're good. Don't get by car though. All right, so let's talk about this like recklessness and power thing. So this is a situation where it's going to happen that a guy comes into the set and he seems like quite aggressive. Right? And the girl liked me a bit beforehand, but I would contend that seeing how I deal with the aggressive guy definitely increases whatever attraction she may be feeling. So let's have a look. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. You look highly elegant.
Really?
Really, you do actually. Todd.
Nice.
That was quite the Hi.
Hey.
How you doing?
How are you doing?
I was about to pull out a chair into your skateboard. I assume you guys are friends. Nice to meet you. Todd.
No, it's
Good to meet you.
Yeah.
Very good to meet you.
Yeah.
All right. How many guys would have crumbled, run away, gotten intimidated, reacted in that situation? How many people? Yeah? A few of you guys? Yeah? He looked really happy when he came in, didn't he? Real positive, right? The fact that I didn't respond, the fact that I didn't back down in that situation or get overly terrified is positive. Also the fact that I had this social ability to handle it without it becoming confrontational, right? I was able to A, hold my frame and not back down, but B, not create a confrontation. That is a massive display of value for the girl.
Are you local?
I am for the moment. I'm here for this month.
Nice.
So
nice.
Yeah, for just a little
Yeah,
bit.
I'm
Where you
here
guys?
for a little bit too.
Where you guys headed right now?
We gotta go to the mansion. My sister works there. Oh, we're going home?
Fair enough. We're actually going there later tonight, but late night though. For yeah. Are you gonna be there for shit? You gonna be there in a little bit, or are you just for a little?
Just for a little bit.
Okay.
say, would you go out a bit?
Yeah.
All right, I'll get in touch with you. I'm not in town that long,
Right.
but I'll give you a ring, let you know what's
Yeah.
up. Is that cool? All right. 1 second.
Here, just give me your number and then I'll
Text it?
shoot you a text. Yeah.
Works. That's faster anyway.
Right. What is it?
And then you add the contacts.
And then like once we're all getting ready, I'll shoot you a text, see what you're doing.
Sure.
Just call.
Okay, call it right now. That works. That's the best. Give it a second to go through.
Okay. And my
Awesome.
name
I got that,
Okay.
of course. Pleasure.
is, yeah, my thing is like glitches.
Let's
Todd?
see what happens.
Okay. You should have got me.
Let's see. I hate my phone.
I'll shoot you a text
Yeah, I think I
right
do.
now.
I think I have it.
I'll shoot you a text right now.
Perfect. I'll catch you later tonight. Nice to meet you.
Have a good day.
Yep.
I'm not a big fan of getting into a physical confrontation because you never know. Even if you're a good fighter, you never know if he has friends. You never know if he has a knife, whatever. And also, you're a little guy, so I don't assume you're winning many fights. So I definitely would tend to avoid violence. I mean, on one hand, the like standing up to violence and not backing down is an attraction trigger. On the other hand, it's an attraction trigger because in caveman days, doing that too often would have gotten you killed. And understand the reason why that one's an attraction trigger. Also, like, you know, riding a motorcycle without a helmet's an attraction trigger, but I don't recommend you do that either, right? So be smart and recognize when the threat is real and when it's not. If there's no real threat, then by all means. If there is a real threat, then like guard your life, because if you are good at game and abundant, you're gonna be with hundreds or thousands or however many girls you want to. Losing an eye in a fight with one girl is going to tremendously hurt your health indicator as an attraction trigger. Okay? Yeah. Yeah.
How do you react when a girl qualifies to you? Do you say like, oh, I respect that, or oh, that's nice? Like, what are some like lines or things you could do to show her that you appreciate her qualification?
It depends what you're trying to do. Sometimes you may want her to qualify more. You may actually disqualify or like force it. Other times you may acknowledge it. It depends the social relationship. I would be less worried about the exact line though, because at that moment you're in a winning position. So at that moment, anything that you do that's relatively normal, you're fine. You're not going to fuck it up. Does that make sense? But specifically what you're doing is going to be determined by why you're qualifying her or where you want to take the direction of the interaction. Sometimes you might escalate, sometimes you might ask her to qualify more, sometimes you might acknowledge it and respect it and even physically, like give her physical comfort. It's all contextual. Yeah.
So during dating, when a guy rolls up, he'll kind of like try to get the girl away from you as soon as possible. I noticed you kind of like dressed him really quick. It's a question you ask the girl if she asks you something. Like, is there something you kind of do? Like, do you just say something real quick to the guy to like hold him there for a second and then ask a question? Like, what would you process?
I mean, I don't know that like I have a standard MO for that situation, because I think that exact situation has happened once in my pickup career, right? Like the what to do when the guy rolls up on a skateboard 5 seconds into this, like it's not a common situation, right? But the main thing was that I didn't care that much and I didn't consider it awkward. Like even that thing where I was like, oh wait, I almost pulled a chair into your skateboard. Right? It's so like, I'm clearly not totally like caught up in him having come over if I just noticed that, like, you know what I mean? So it's just like that I'm fairly fluid and okay. In this situation, right, this is a public street, right? This is a public place, right? The odds that anything really terrible is gonna happen to me here and not be broken up extremely fast are like that. Plus, on top of it, like I've taken some martial arts, right? I've taken, like I have. I'm not saying I'm like some MMA fighter or something, but I've taken some martial arts. I've taken enough martial arts that I cannot get killed in 20 seconds of a fight. Does that make sense? Or not get seriously injured, right? Does that make sense? Right? Like that's all in that situation. That's all I really need, right? Because that fight is not going to go 20 seconds. Let's be real honest, okay? So I'm not actually intimidated. Like there's no real risk there. Does that make sense? So in that case, I'm not. Well, it's on a skateboard too. You know, come on. Like, I mean, maybe big, but it's not a skateboard. Come on, right? So I'm not actually concerned for my life there. There, it's more about just holding my frame, right? If the guy like looked real thuggish and I saw some like the metal object in his pocket, I might react very differently, right? Yeah. So I mean, I don't know if that really answers your question or not. But every situation is a little unique. Treat it on its own merits, and In any case though, whether you're in threat of violence or not, getting emotionally reactive is not gonna help you in any of them. If there was a threat of violence, getting emotionally reactive wouldn't help you there either. That would either escalate the situation or it'd be a show of weakness that would make them go after you. So either way, keeping your wits about you is the good thing to do, whether you're gonna try and pursue the girl or whether you're gonna back down.
Yeah, so I noticed in the set where the girl was hugging you, you gave her some kind of like validation a little bit, like you were cute. And like, I always feel like it's kind of like a bad thing to like give them like physical validation at least. But I love calling girls cute. Like that's my dilemma. Like I don't want it to seem like I'm investing too much. And in that case, I guess the girl was already giving you positive signs by hugging you. So is that kind of like your way of like rewarding her for like hugging you? Because I've heard of that before, but
right.
I'm not really sure.
So you don't want to be stingy with your compliments. Okay. Now you don't want to be complimenting in order to get the girl to like you, and you don't want to be exclusively complimenting. Like compliments are the only thing coming out of your mouth. But remember I said to you guys earlier that I probably give more compliments than you guys do? I probably do. I mean, you see that, right? I give compliments, but they're compliments from a high value frame. Compliments from this frame of, here's this high value guy, I noticed you, I'm interested. So let's talk about this. Let's see if you're the kind of girl I'd like. Right, but I noticed you, I'm interested as a compliment. That's more intent than most of you show at the start of your set, right? But it's from a high value frame, right? I think of it as like, I'm the like billionaire that gives to charity. Does that make sense? Right, I have such abundance that like my little gifts to charity don't really like move the needle. Does that make sense? Let's look at the next one. So this is an example of basically confidence, frame control, escalation. This is gonna be a situation where late at night, these girls are walking on the street and basically walking into their hotel. And basically just on like confidence and assuredness, I walk straight into their hotel with them. Hello. Might be very forward and tell you that I'm hungry and homeless and I would do anything for pizza right now. I'm just kidding.
That was hilarious.
Thank you. You have a good sense of humor. I give you credit for that.
Thank you.
That's my test at this hour of the night. I can only talk to people that still have a sense of humor. If you're either too dumb or too angry to have a sense of humor, then conversation is not acceptable. You guys staying here?
Yeah.
Wait, I'll come in for a second. I gotta go with my friends in a second, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. What's the tour? Oh, inside.
See that guy over there. Sir.
Okay. So, sorry, what was your name?
My name.
It's hot. Nice to meet you. In that case, I actually got in the elevator, went straight up to the room with them, and they offered me pizza. So that was nice. This particular case, because people asked me how it went and stuff like that, I didn't stay long because A, I was on boot camp, and B, I had my girlfriend with me on boot camp. So that was not really on fly. But I did get invited up to the room. I was invited to stay and party with them as long as I would have liked, as far as that went. It was like 3 of them and 1 of me. So I'm sure they like didn't feel unsafe at all with having a guy there, and it was fine. So you see, just on basically assumption, how did I get in there? I was like, oh yeah, I'll come in for a second, I guess. Right? Why not?